Hello, my name is Shalonda Nelson, and I will be going over the case of the Millers. However, this is an emphasis of Marcus, who is the adopted brother of Angela. In the case of Marcus, the overview is that Marcus is adopted by a Nigerian father and a Caucasian mother. He is the baby of his 3 siblings, and he is currently working on his PhD. He is also a gay man, currently in a relationship. From the overview of the case, it seems as if when Angela entered Marcus' house, and the description of the house being untidy, and Marcus being in that house with shades drawn, as Marcus is lying in a bed, in addition to the observance of him smelling musty, it's kind of an indicator that there's something going on with him. Marcus must be depressed. Marcus shared with the counselor that his boyfriend Rob left him a month ago to do some work for the company overseas in the Middle East, and he did not want Rob to leave. In addition to Rob leaving, Marcus is compiling his work for his PhD. So he currently have papers that he needs to write. Mike, who is counseling Marcus, assists him with his feelings and also directing him to a more positive approach than what Marcus was currently displaying. As the first session neared the end, Mike gave Marcus material to read, such as the 5 basic needs, which are survival, love, and belongingness, power, freedom, and for Marcus to begin to have some type of fun. Both Mike and Marcus then met for the second session. Marcus stated that he went over the material given by Mike, and that he had a chart. The counselor had the chart that Marcus feels powerless over not being able to complete his comps by the deadline. Mike had Marcus to rethink his thoughts and manifest that he is in control of Marcus. A little annoyed by Mike, Marcus felt as if Mike felt as if Marcus needed to take his control back. Mike asked Marcus to write in a pad, which he gave him. The second session was a little emotional for Marcus, but it was something that he needed. So Mike began to reference the WDEP system and additional readings for the upcoming session. The third session, in which Marcus and Mike met, Mike wanted to dive in and wanted Marcus to work on what Marcus actually wants for himself. Marcus recognized that when people are taking care of him is when he feels loved. Marcus also pointed out that he feels less accomplished when others help him do things. He stated that he knows Angela is his safety net. However, it's a complete opposite with his boyfriend, Ron. In fact, this may be the reason that, Rob left to get away. Marcus feels great on deciding on being independent to get himself to that particular session without the help of anybody. So in this session, Marcus began to develop himself and what he wants moving forward. Marcus set up what he will need to complete for his comps and develop techniques that will help him focus and finish and have a sense of accomplishment. So as I have given an overview and the history of Marcus, I will go into the question. The first question is, what techniques do you think are most important in building a relationship with Marcus while helping him understand the basic tenets of reality therapy. So I believe that the techniques that are most important in building a relationship with Marcus and helping him understand the basic tenets of reality therapy would be to have Marcus understand his total overall behavior. This includes his actions, the thinking process, feelings, and the physiological responses. I would also, as a counselor, help Marcus understand that his choice, that his choice making should be based on internal control, instead of the negative choice. It's very similar to the first session in which Mike noted to Marcus. I would also assist Marcus with understanding that at any point of Marcus' life can be reevaluated and to learn how to make newer choices through an anti-deterministic approach. Lastly, I would help Marcus understand having satisfaction through the here and now, as I have focused more about his present, as it focused more on his presence. This would be what I would do to help build a relationship with Marcus. The tenets of reality therapy will help Marcus with self-preservation, inner control, independence, freedom, and fun. The second question is, if you were going to continue as Marcus' therapist, how might you use the WDEP system to support him in exploring, creating a plan to strengthen his relationship? And I would use the WDEP system to help Marcus develop a plan. This will give Marcus a clear understanding of exactly what he wants to make his life more ideal, in which, will make him happy. I will work with making sure that Marcus understands his wants. He would have to be clear on that, and I more than likely would have him journal it. Once we have accomplished the wants and begin to work on the direction in which Marcus can have his wants fulfilled, in this case would be the comps being completed in his relationship, for example. Once we have that worked out, we can move on into him self-evaluating himself. I believe that these exercises will be done through journaling. And lastly, we will move into the plan worked on by both of us with greater influence on how Marcus feels. It should be doing his part with making it simple, attainable, measurable, immediate, evolved, and control, and making sure that it's also consistent. Also, educating him that he can revisit it at any time. The third one is what multicultural issues does Marcus counselor need to attend? I believe that a multicultural issues that Marcus counselor need are first accounting that Marcus has biracial parents. And what does that look like to him, such as environmental, cultural, religious, spiritual, and self-identity, especially being adopted. Has he ever felt like he fit in the first place? Having a father from Nigeria who is deep-rooted with culture, with this leave their relationship as Marcus is a gay man. The other multicultural issue is the fact that Marcus is gay. And as a counselor, to understand what that culture and environment is faced with. A counselor understanding these multicultural issues, I feel, will help develop the better quality in Marcus's life. The last question is, if you were applying rational emotional behavior therapy, REBT, with Marcus instead of reality therapy, what would be the two major differences? So I would say that the two major differences with the REBT would be to help Marcus with teaching him skills in accepting what life circumstances are, even though it is not what he wants them to be. The first major difference would be short-term approach. The REBT, it isn't for every client because Marcus need a little bit more extensive, I feel, therapy to help him. And he's actually to the point where he needs to apply himself better with understanding who he is. The second would be cognitive distortions, which are responsible for Marcus' irrational belief. Both of these are very different than reality therapy, where it focuses on helping Marcus with positive choice and change behavior. Thank you for listening to my answers to the questions, and have a great day.